Do you have a fear of rejection? Most of us fear being rejected, usually by our lovers. But I want to share something with you about rejection that you may not know, and this will help you not be so afraid of rejection so that you can do love and life better. First of all, let's define rejection. What does rejection mean? The definition of rejection is this: to refuse to accept. That's it. To refuse to accept. Another word we can use is deny or decline. Like when you're at the grocery store and you try to pay for your groceries with your card, and then the system says, this transaction has been declined. What does that mean? That means that the card is not working, right? The issue is not with the processor. The issue is with the card. So you need to change the card because the card was rejected. The card is bad. Here's the thing. That same thing is not true for us humans. If I get rejected, it doesn't mean that I'm rejectable or that I'm bad. It means that the processor or the person, they just have a different preference. Think of it this way. You may have heard me talk about my mother's sweet potato pie before, right? So I love my mama's sweet potato pie. It is absolutely amazing. Take these glasses off. It's absolutely amazing. And if I offer it to you, like you come to my house this Thanksgiving, I'm gonna have some sweet potato pie. And I'm going to offer you some. And when I do, guess what I expect? I expect you to love it too. Why? Because it's delicious. Now, watch this. When I give it to you, if you say, this is nasty, what am I gonna think? I'm not gonna think that there's an issue with the pie. I'm gonna think there's an issue with you. Because I've already determined that the pie is good. Regardless of what you say, regardless of what your cousins say, regardless of what aunties say, or regardless of what my wife says, I've determined that the pie is good because I tried it and it's good. If you don't like it, something's wrong with you. Now take that same logic and apply it to yourself. Okay, so God has already declared me good enough. So if you reject me, you got different taste buds. It ain't that I'm rejectable, or it's not that I'm not delicious or lovable or whatever I'm delicious. You know what I mean when I say that. I'm referencing the pie. Don't be, stop having ugly thoughts. So anyway, it's not that something is wrong with me. You just don't like what I have. Now, why then do we have a fear of rejection? Here's why you have a fear of rejection. The reason you have a fear of rejection is because you make rejection hurt. What? How? Wait a minute. How do I make rejection hurt? So if you understand the way our feelings work and our emotions, then you understand what I mean. So here's how our feelings and emotions work. What you feel when you're hurt, your thoughts and your beliefs are at the root of that. So like feelings don't just show up. Like you don't curse me out and I'm just hurt. Feelings are a result of a thought or belief, okay? Who's in control of my thoughts and beliefs? Me. So my thoughts and my beliefs cause my hurt. Just let it sink in. I know you may not agree because when you first hear it, like, that don't make sense. Think about it. There's a thought and then there's a feeling. And then after the feeling, there's a behavior. That's the sequence. No feeling or emotion can exist without an attached thought or belief coming first. When your partner, let's say we're talking about sex, because this question came up from someone who watched my video on initiating sex. So let's say your partner rejects you. You try to initiate sex and they say, I'm not feeling it right now. Okay? What does that mean? Does that mean something is wrong with you? No. It means they have a preference for right now, and it's not sex. It doesn't mean that you're bad enough. It doesn't mean that you're bad. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. It doesn't mean that I'll never want to have sex with you. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It means I don't want it right now for whatever reason. Because your thoughts and your beliefs come from you. The reason that rejection hurts, are you ready for this? The reason that rejection hurts is because of the story that you make up in your mind about what this rejection means about you. I'm going to say it again. The reason rejection hurts you is because of the story that you tell yourself of what the rejection means about you. But it doesn't mean anything about you. It means something about the other person. It means they got a different preference right now. It means they want something else. And that may hurt you, but it only hurts you because you're telling yourself, hey, you should want me. Or, hey, them not wanting me means I'm not good enough. That's where the pain is. Them rejecting me means I'm not lovable. That's where the pain is. How'd you come to that conclusion? You brought it to the relationship with you. Primarily, or more than likely, you brought it from childhood. It's a childhood belief to believe I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. And you've been doing life, unbeknownst to you, you've been doing life from this core negative belief place of not good enough. And so then every time that button is, anytime something in life reminds you that you are flawed, your not good enough button or trigger gets pushed, and then you feel some kind of way. So what am I saying? I'm saying, as you work on your emotional wholeness and your maturity, rejection will not hurt you the way that it does. Because, so let me give you another example. Let's say my wife, let's say it's my birthday. My wife's supposed to be cooking me a big dinner, okay? But she chooses not to cook the dinner. And I'm not going to say why or whatever, right? Let's leave it, I'm going to leave it vague in your mind, right? So she's supposed to cook a dinner for me for my birthday, and she didn't. Now, watch this. Why didn't she cook the dinner? Because that's the part that we make up. That's the part that we make, the story we make up in our head that hurts us. So typically what someone will say is, she didn't cook for my birthday because she don't love me, or because she don't love me enough, or because she don't care. But the underlying story behind that is she don't love me because I'm not good enough, because I'm not lovable. But because that's in the subconscious, you don't really notice that thought. Because otherwise, why would you get mad about somebody not loving you? Even if it's your spouse, why are you getting mad that they don't love you? Because you have a story in your mind that's attached to it. I hope this is making sense. You have a story in your mind that's attached to it. And because you're not full, you're not emotionally full, you're not emotionally well, you need them to love you. You need them to accept you. And so their behavior right now is saying, I don't accept you. I don't love you. That's what you think it's saying. Let me say that. You think it's saying that. And so that's the story you make up. And so when there's no dinner, you mad or you hurt. Or however you express that feeling, it's because of the story in your head. Did that make sense? Because watch this. If she don't cook the dinner, I can make up something else. I can say, well, she didn't cook the dinner because she was tired. Or I know she wanted to cook. I know she loved me and she wanted to do the dinner, but she probably was thinking she didn't know what to cook and then got caught up in time and then end up cooking nothing at all. Now watch this. I can still be disappointed. Disappointment is not pain. Disappointment is I expected this and I didn't get it. That's normal. That's like disappointment is only painful once you add an extra story to it. I'm disappointed because you didn't do this. But the reason you didn't do it is because of me. Watch this part. Even if my wife was to tell me, the reason I didn't cook you dinner for your birthday is because you did this. So now she's blaming me for her not cooking. But guess what? Because I'm mature and I'm wise, what I'm gonna say is that ain't true. You didn't not cook for me because of me. You think you did, but you are 100% in control of your behavior. So regardless of what I did, you made the choice not to cook. And like, do we think about all this in the midst of pain and in the midst of, no. But that's why you got to work on it beforehand. When you master your mind, all of this stuff starts to align for you. So in the heat of the battle, when I say in the heat of the battle, meaning in life, when life happens, it's just you automatically think this way. That's how I've trained myself. Now, when I say I've trained myself to think this way, doesn't mean that I do it 100% perfect all the time, because I'm still a human. I still drop the ball. But for the most part, it's a lot of things that I used to take personal. I don't take personal anymore. Why? Because I recognize you have a life and you're a human being. Ain't no telling why you rejected me. Ain't no telling why you said what you said. I don't know. And here's what we don't do. We don't ask questions. We don't ask, hey, the other day I was trying to make a sexual advance and you rejected me. What was going on for you? Your spouse may say, oh, well, at the time I was in my head and I was thinking about this, or I was just really tired. I would have, but I was just tired. They can let you know, hey, it really had nothing to do with you. Or if they do, like in the example that I gave, if they say, well, I didn't want to have sex because you only touch me when you want sex and I feel like an object. What they're telling you is how they think and how they feel. And then their response was a no. They're not saying anything about you, even though you think that they are. They're not saying anything about you. They're saying, based on what they saw in you, they made a decision about themselves. You don't have to be hurt by their decision. You can be disappointed. You can be frustrated, but you don't have to feel rejection. Rejection means I don't accept you. Okay, so if you don't accept me, does it mean I'm bad? Or does it mean you got different taste buds? It means you have different taste buds. Why am I going to get mad because you got different taste buds? Because I married you and I need you to have taste buds for me? Well, I do. But here's the thing. Nobody, if we're using the analogy of taste buds, nobody has taste buds for everything that their partner brings with them to the table. Nobody. Meaning, translation, nobody likes everything about their mate. That's unrealistic. So watch this. There are things that your mate don't like about you that doesn't bother you. Why? Because you haven't given weight to that thing. For example, my wife may not like my height. Like I'm 5'9". She may want someone that's 6 feet, or she may not have ever dated anyone my height. You know why that doesn't bother me? Because I don't put stock in my height. But if I was sensitive about my height and she never dated guys my height, I'm always going to be questioning, man, I wonder if she think I'm too short. You know, when she put on heels and she taller than me, guess what I'm going to do? Get mad. Why? Because I'm in my head, not because she got on heels. Am I making sense? I hope that I am. So, how do you deal with rejection? By dealing with the stories that you make up in your mind. It's your mind. It's not your partner's mind. The things on the outside of you is not what that is not what is causing you to do life the way you're doing it. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. Because if that were true, watch this. If that were true, then those circumstances that you think are causing you harm, those same circumstances would cause everybody harm. The sun is hot for everybody. Like the sun is hot for now. It's different degrees of hot for different people. Like it feels different. Some people love it, some people don't. But my point is, it's hot. That's not an interpretation thing. That's not something that I can change in my mind. But the sun being unbearable, that's per person, right? In the same way, if yelling was the reason that your feelings are hurt, then every time somebody yells at other folk, their feelings would be hurt too. But the fact that different people respond to a different way means it's not the thing. That's the point that I'm making. So you telling me no may be rejection, but how I handle it is because of me. So when I say, hey, can I borrow a pen? You say no, I've been rejected. If I can make that rejection, he didn't give me a pen because he don't like me. Subconscious thought, because I'm not likable, because I'm not lovable. It's going to mess up the rest of my day. Same situation. Hey, let me borrow a pen. Nah, I can't do that, dog. Okay. You know why I wouldn't get upset? Because I don't have any stock in if you tell me no about a pen. But guess what? It does matter if you tell me no about sex. But why does it matter? Because I made it up. You get it? Man, I wish I had an audience so I can get some feedback so y'all can tell me immediately. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because this is crucial. This doesn't just apply to rejection. This applies to everything in your life. You are the only person that gives meaning to everything in your life. I use this I can't say that example. Here we go. I used this example the other day when I was talking about this microphone. Show you how the power of belief works. And this is real simple, and you know this, but let me tell you, the reason that I am talking into this microphone is because I have determined that it's a microphone. Or should I say, I've agreed. Like somebody say, hey, that's a microphone, and I agree. In my mind, I see it as a microphone. Watch this. If I believed that this microphone was a speaker, I would not be talking into it. I'd have it over there, wondering why sound is not coming out of it. Hey, I thought this was a speaker, but ain't no sound coming out of it. But that's me processing my reality. So I'm going to react to what I believe. So if I believe that your rejection of me means that I'm not good enough, it's going to hurt me, maybe even crush me. So now, let me say this last part to the brother that actually asked me this question. I'm gonna just answer you this. I'm gonna answer this on here because I did see you say, how long you've been married and your wife is, grieving, and people handle grief differently, whatever. Here's what I want to tell you. In the same context, how your wife is handling her grief, what she is doing, and how she's rejecting you has nothing to do with you. You could be, so whatever you think about you think of the best version of what you think the ideal husband for your wife. Let's say if it ain't you, or let's say it is you, but these things are fixed. Let's say you are perfect. If you are perfect and something happened in life and your wife is she's going to deal with it the same way. Because that's how she deals with death. That's how she deals with hurt. That's how she deals with whatever. We take too much responsibility for other people's stuff. So my point is, I know you want your wife to move a certain way and operate a certain way. And I know you're giving her space to grieve. I did see you say that. I saw you said, I didn't hear you say, but I saw that you said, you're giving her space to grieve. But what I'm saying is, don't take it personal. Like if she snapped one day, something's going on inside of her. Ain't got nothing to do with you. Now, I said that was the last thing. This is the last thing. And then this really is the last thing. In order to operate this way, you got to be emotionally whole and healthy. You got to work on your inner stuff, right? You have to get to the place to where you don't need people for anything. This is what true freedom is. I heard Dr. Myron Golden say this. When you have nothing to lose, nothing to gain, nothing to hide, and nothing to prove, then you'll experience true freedom. That's why, you ever thought about the fact that so the way that Jesus did relationships, it was not supernatural. He did relationships on a natural level, but because he was completely emotionally whole, he did not need anything from anybody. He didn't need anybody to validate that who he was. He knew who he was. And he did not need you to know who he was to know who he was. The Bible says that being in the form of God, he thought it not robbery to be equal with God. That means I know who I am. Like I'm God. I know that. But then it says he made of himself no reputation, meaning I know I'm God, but I don't need you to know that I'm God. I don't need you to know I'm God so that I'll know I'm God. I know it all by myself. That's true freedom. Jesus had nothing to lose, nothing to gain, nothing to hide, and nothing to prove. When you get there, like you then, so this is how you love more deeply, because now when your partner rejects you, you can put that in the right box. But also, even more importantly, when your partner mishandles you in the wrong way, you can still treat them in love, and you can investigate. Hey, I'm trying to figure out, I want to understand why you're moving this way. Because I know you love me, but this behavior is not saying that you love me. So I'm wondering if something's going on with you. I'm not saying you're going to say all that. Maybe you will. But my point is, that's how you're going to move. That's how you're going to handle conflict. Why? Because I'm emotionally whole and well, and I don't need you to love me. I want you to love me. I want you to care about me, but I don't need you to love me. I need God. I want you. Man, I hope that was helpful. If not, let me know. I'll re-explain it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Send this to somebody that you believe it would be helpful to, because they may be trapped in the fear of rejection, not knowing they're the one with the key to the prison that they're living in.